Hi, and welcome back to our podcast, Who Are They? I'm Bailey,
And I'm Abby.
and we're so excited to have you back today. We're really excited to talk about our topic. Lots of people were involved in the making of this episode.
So many. Actually, I would estimate approximately 80 on my end.
About 40 on my end.
Wow. So we got about 120 put together in that math teacher brain right there.
Oh, that's so crazy, so good. Yeah, you'll find out more about that in a little bit. But first, we've got to catch up with each other about our weeks.
Okay. Can I go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Really, it was nothing exciting. I had soccer games to go to. My cousin is in her high school season right now, and so that's really fun to go to those. And they're doing pretty well, I think. My brother is on a travel soccer team, so I got to see his team play for the first time this weekend, which was also very fun. I'm such a competitive person, though, that sometimes watching sports makes me super competitive and, like, I get upset. And I don't ever yell things out loud that I shouldn't in public, but it's just difficult for me not to yell the things I would yell at my TV.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, my little commentary, I'm sure, is annoying to the people sitting next to me because I'm like, oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, okay. That's okay. And it's just like really annoying, even to myself.
But you're into it, At least
I know.
you're not sitting there on your phone. You're there and you're
No.
into the game.
I'm so into it that I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth. So, and then this week we did our M-step testing. So that started, so it was 3 days of boredom.
Yep.
But it was worse than that because I had my M-step started Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And on Wednesday I went to work and had a sore throat.
Oh, no.
And I was not feeling very good, but I was like, it's okay, no big deal. Like, even if, like, I get work, like, I can do this, basically, was my mentality. And I asked someone in my building, I said, hey, what happens if I feel more sick? And I didn't sound sick, I didn't look sick. So maybe this person thought I was trying to get out of being at work. I don't know. But I was like, what happens at the end of this week, like in a couple days, if I feel worse?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you can't. Like, you have to be there.
Right.
And I was like, no one can tell me that.
No, like if you're sick, you can't come in. But also it's hard because they can't get it. Like you have to be approved to proctor the test.
But in my opinion, and maybe there's reasons you can't do this, but I feel like in any building, you should assume that a teacher at some point is going to be gone for state testing and have somebody else like proctor available for that,
Yeah. We used up absolutely every person in our school when we did state testing because we had so many small groups.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I think you should at least have a district sub that is like for sure okay to proctor that you like go through and do that for because you never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
Anyways, went to work Thursday. My sore throat was even worse, was feeling awful, could barely keep my eyes open. I was so exhausted because I hadn't slept due to like just not feeling well and like other things that were happening. And even now you can tell I sound congested, maybe. I don't know. But to myself, I don't sound normal. And so I took Friday off.
Ooh.
I did. And they had to figure out what to do with M-step testing. I did feel a little bit bad about that. But I said, I'm sick. And if this were any regular day, I would not be there. And I probably wouldn't have gone on Thursday either. So I said, I gave them heads up. I gave them heads up the night before. I texted them. But they figured out what to do with my M-step kids. So I really only M-step tested 2 days. And then I spent all of Friday sleeping in, taking a nap, and reading my book.
Oh, delightful.
And to be honest, I needed to sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. So that was wonderful because I slept until like 11 a.m. on Friday and on Saturday and took a nap on Friday. But then the rest of my life was reading. And let me tell you, everyone in the audience, anyone listening to me, Bailey, to you as well. I am telling you right now, I am watching myself read through what I know is going to be my most favorite series ever, probably.
Oh, wow.
I think so. I really do. I can already say that. Like, if it keeps getting, like, if it continues as good as it is, like, I cannot tell you. It is so good. I am in love with every single character, the twists and the turns, and the way that you, like, want something to happen so badly. And then tears have come to my eyes multiple times already. And I'm just so invested, and I still have 3 books to go. So last time I said I had begun the 3rd book, so I read the 1st and 2nd and then the prequel. I finished the 3rd book while I was sick. I began the 4th book, and I am now about to finish it. I'll probably finish it as soon as we finish this podcast because I think I only have like 30 pages left.
Oh, so you're so close.
Yeah. Oh, and then I went to the store this weekend after I was sick, like on Sunday when I was back to my human self, and I went to go just buy the next book at Target because I'm like, I need the next one because I know I'm going to be done soon.
Mm-hmm.
Walked into my Target. There was a sale. I know.
Oh, wow.
So I had to buy 4 books. They just made me. Because
so was the sale buy 4 books or was each book on sale? Okay. I was like, that's not really a sale.
No. The sale was a buy one, get one half off.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I bought the next 3 books. This is the next one. Empire of Storms. And then I bought Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash, which are the last 3. And then I thought, well, buy one, get one half off. I have to buy a 4th.
Right. Because you're getting it half off.
So I didn't want to buy the beginning of another series, right? Because I didn't want to have to buy the rest of a series.
Mm-hmm.
But I bought the books, the 7-Year Slip, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No.
Oh. Well, it's this book, and I don't really know exactly, just based on what I read off the back, is like a magic, like realism type of little cute romance, I think.
Okay.
It's this girl that's like living in an apartment. It's her aunt's old apartment. Her aunt died, I think.
Okay.
And her aunt always told her that the apartment was special or something, or I don't know if her aunt told her it was magic or what. But when she moves in, she walks in and this guy is in her apartment, and
Ooh.
she ends up, I guess, probably developing some sort of relationship with this guy, but he lives 7 years in the past and she's 7 years in the future.
Oh, interesting.
So there's some sort of like time warp.
It's where they like meet up in the apartment. But anytime, is it like they leave the apartment and they're in different time zones?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
Oh, well, that actually sounds kind of interesting, to be honest.
I know.
Let me
So
know
I
how
got
that
that
one is.
Well, I won't get to that for a while.
Okay.
But I'll let you know once I get to it. Trust
you
me.
say that, but then you're like, oh, I read 4 books this week.
No, I only read 1.5 this week.
Okay, well, that's...
Granted, the books
quite a
I'm
bit.
reading, the one that
They're
I'm about to
huge.
finish, that I started on not Tuesday, that I started on Friday, is 650 pages.
Yeah, and you read that all this weekend. So,
Yeah.
I think that you'll read through the last 3 books faster than you think.
Yeah, me too.
Mm. Is that your catch up?
Yeah.
So productive.
Well, it's just reading, really.
Well, I finally finished the first book in A Court of Thorns and Roses because I got about 3/4 of the way through, and then there was like this twist, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was sucked in, and I finished
You
it.
were just getting to the twist.
Yes. And then I like read a little bit more, and it twisted even more. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like actually really into it. And so I finished that one, and I talked to my friend because I'm borrowing her book, and she's like, oh, I'll bring you the next 2. And then she goes, I'll just bring you the rest of the series because we're going to go out of town. Because it's almost summer, and she's a teacher too. So she's like, we're going to go out of town for a few weeks. So like, just in case you need the books quickly.
Right.
She's just going to give me the whole series because we're going to go out to dinner tomorrow night with, Jacob and I are going to go out to dinner with her and her husband. She's going to bring me the books then.
That's so cute.
So good. The book is so good. Golly. Like, I feel like I haven't read a book in a while where I was like, oh my goodness, I can't, like, that I haven't read before that I could not stop reading. Except for
That's
that
like
one.
these. I was reading till 11
Yes.
p.m. last night.
I think I'll have to read those next.
You have to.
Which
and
I'm
gonna
really
read
putting
your
Keeper
series
of the
next,
Lost
maybe.
Cities. I'm putting Keeper of the Lost Cities on hold.
No, throw that in the trash. Like, I mean, not really, because Keeper of the Lost City was decent, but
It's great, but these books are like so much better. So I have to read these first, and then maybe I'll go back to Keeper
these
of the Lost
books
Cities.
are life. Like, they are just.
Well, she's just so good at describing things, and like, I feel like a lot of books I read, it feels like the same old kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she feels like she's describing like brand new things and coming up with like brand new ideas. And the twists are so good, I could have never guessed them.
I know. Well, and I remember seeing her. Sarah J. Maas is the author, but I remember seeing her name on TikTok everywhere, and it was like such the hype. And I thought to myself, this really can't be as good as everyone's saying it is, because usually when things are so hyped, it's just not always
Right.
like, it's overhyped. I am not kidding. This is not overhyped. Like,
Well,
if anyone's overhyping it, I am right now.
Well, I pushed this book off for a while because I was talking to the school psychologist, and he's like a 35-year-old man. And he was like, someone was like, oh, what kind of books do you like? And he said, oh, Court of Thorns and Roses. And we're like, well, what's it about? And he goes, fairies. And I'm like, seriously, dude?
I'm not sure what vibe that gives
And
off
so
when a guy
then-
says that.
Yeah,
But I
that's true.
haven't read the book, actually.
And so then I was like, there's no way you can get me to read this book about fairies. And then my friend recommended it, and I was like, well, it must be a good book.
I know,
Anyways, I
when
finished that.
When someone you trust tells you to do something, you're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, actually, I'll do it.
Yeah,
because
because I go, oh, she's sane. So I know for
Yeah.
sure. Not that their psychologist is not. I'm not claiming that. But also, I don't know him well.
Right.
Anyways, so she's going to give me the rest of the series. I feel like I had a productive week. Like, not productive. I had, like, a hectic week other than that. My car, did I talk about my car being in the shop last time?
No. I didn't
Oh,
even
not
know
at
it was
all.
ever in the shop.
So my car, my check engine light came on.
No.
My dad's going to be really disappointed in me in January. And
Bailey Ray.
And so I got a diagnostic for it like a month ago. You take it to AutoZone or something and
Right.
you get a diagnostic. I did that, and they had some codes pinging up. So I finally was able to get into the shop last week, and they fixed something. I had like a leaky valve, and they fixed that last week. I picked up my car on a Friday, and it was under my extended warranty by 5,000 miles.
Oh.
I was like, ooh, good. So I only had to pay a little bit of a deductible. But then that night, I take it home. I take it out of my friend's house, and I leave at like 10. And my check engine light turns on again. And I was like, seriously? And I didn't have time to take it back into the shop all week. So I took it in last Friday, and they call me, and they go, yeah, your leaky valve caused your, like, the honeycombs in my catalytic converter or something to burn up, so I need a new catalytic converter. Which I
don't know
guess
what that means, nor do I know what that is.
Well, I don't really know what it is either, but every time I tell people, they go, oh, that's expensive, so it must be important to the car.
I feel like a catalytic converter, like I've heard it, and I feel like it's a big deal.
Yeah, anyways, that is also covered by my extended warranty for another 5,000 miles.
Lucky.
I told my mom, and she's like, you got really lucky, because a lot of times those are not covered by. It has to do with emissions. So it's, I think it helps your car run smoother and cleaner. So my car has probably not been getting good gas mileage lately. Anyways, so they're ordering that part for me. So eventually I'm going to have to take my car in again. But I get my car back.
Wikipedia says a catalytic converter is an exhaust emission control device which converts toxic gases and pollutants in exhaust gas from an internal combustion engine into, and then I have to click on the link to get further.
Well, my car's been kind of stinky in the past week, so maybe that's
into
part of it.
less toxic pollutants by catalyzing a redox reaction.
Yeah, so they're going to
Whatever
fix
that
that.
means.
They're ordering my part. That's going to be covered under my warranty. So I'm so excited. But I get my car back.
I'm so happy for you. That is
Thank you. Me
the biggest
too. I was
deal in
nervous.
the world.
But, you know, life is full of, like, good and bad things, right? So Saturday morning, I'm driving over to my boyfriend's house, and it's pouring rain, downpouring rain. And as soon as I pull up into his house, the little thing pings that I got low air pressure in my front left tire. And I'm like, seriously, again, I've lived in Asheville for 2 years, and this is my 4th flat tire from a nail. But luckily,
What's
they've
up
been
with
able.
those people in Nashville?
There's so much construction, and they're just dropping nails everywhere. Anyways, every time it's been able to just be a patch. And so that's not very expensive. I even had one guy do it for free. Very nice. This time, I get a call, and he goes, it's in the side of the tire. We can't patch it. And I was like, dang it, I'm going to have to buy a new tire. And then he goes, actually, you need to buy 4 new tires. And I was like, what? I was like, are you just trying to scam me and get me to buy 4 new tires? And so he like quotes me and send me this quote for 4 new tires. And he's like, you're going to get 4 new tires. And I was like, hold up. Let me call my mom. And he goes, I'll give you 10% off right now because I like you. And I was like, okay, I need to call. Like, I'll call my mom and I'll call you back.
Right.
So I call my mom. And then my boyfriend's brother works at a Firestone in Arkansas.
Oh, what?
So we sent him the photos of my tires, and he was able to pull up the report to make sure they weren't like trying to scam me and sell tires. And he's like, your tires are not that bad. And he goes, but like, do you have all-wheel drive? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah. He was like, and then the way I tone of his voice, I was like, dang it. He was like, yeah. He's like, if I were you, I would buy the new tires. And I told him what they quoted me, and he was like, yeah, that's a good deal right now for new tires. So I had to buy 4 new tires. But it was about time because I've had those tires on my car since I bought it, and I'm at 55,000 miles.
And tires are expensive. I had to buy tires about a few months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah. So, and they're like, I guess you want to buy them around the same time or at least the same type of tire.
You do, so that you don't have to keep track of when to replace them and which ones to do. And my dad told me, which I didn't know anything about rotating tires. People are going to be like, Abby, who are you? But I didn't know, okay? When no one tells you, you don't know. And
sorry,
you probably knew. And now you're going to make fun of me.
No, I don't do it often as I should.
Well, apparently they told me you're supposed to do it every oil change.
Yeah, that's what my dad said, and I think I've done it once. But I also think it's more important if your car's not all-wheel drive. Like mine's all-wheel drive. So then it's more important for you to rotate your tires because they're not getting the same use.
Yeah, I haven't done it since I got the tires. I need to do it, but I haven't gotten an oil change.
Oh, see, yeah, I think you should just do it every time but I think I've only done it once because when we called Jacob's brother, he goes, well, he's like, have you been rotating your tires? And I go, once. And he's like, oh. He's like, well, it's not as big of a deal because you have all-wheel drive, and so they're all spinning.
Right.
Like, and all tires spin.
Right.
But you know what I mean.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I love us talking about cars.
Me too. This is the dumbest, I probably have ever sounded.
But I was like, I don't know a single thing about cars, so I always have to call other people. Like, my mom knows a lot about cars, so I call her, or I call my dad, and then, of course, I'll call Jacob's brother. He works at Firestone. And so they always tell me. So once they tell me, yeah, go ahead and do it, then I called this guy back and I bought 4 new tires. So that was a big bummer. Yeah. So, free catalytic converter, but I had to buy all new tires.
Well, and
not as bad because I needed tires anyway.
When you're talking to car people, specifically, like men that are trying to make you buy things like that, not all men. I'm not saying men are evil or anything. But sorry. Okay. But they will try to scam you, for real.
They will. Well, I was telling someone, I was like, they're either really, really nice or they're trying to scam me. Because it's
I can never tell because they're also really nice when they're trying to scam you.
Well, yeah, but I was like, there was one time where I had, a few months ago, I got a flat tire and I go in and he's go, that's okay, we'll pay for it. And I was like, well, thank you. So they're really nice. But then this time I knew I was like, I couldn't tell if he was trying to scam me. And I have gone to a store before or somewhere to buy something for my car, and I go, hold up, I'm gonna call my mom, and I'll put my mom on speakerphone, and she'll talk to them. And I go, I may not know anything about cars, but I'm not dumb.
Yeah, I know.
So
I always make sure
don't talk to me. Talk to my mother.
I always make sure that they know that I'm contacting somebody else about what they're telling me, so that they know they're not just talking to me.
Right, because I am self-aware that I know nothing about cars.
Same. And I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that because my mom knows everything I need to know. Everything.
Well, I'm happy and sad for your joy and misfortune.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a give and take. But I'm feeling okay about it. Yeah, so then Jacob's been really nice driving me around. He's been taking me to work the days my car's in the shop.
Wow, that's sweet of him.
It was very sweet of him. We were gonna go hiking on Saturday, but then it really downpoured, and then we had that whole tire debacle.
Right.
So we went to a coffee shop, and we went to go get ice cream at night.
Cute.
And so that was fun, cute. And then yesterday, we had a very busy weekend. Yesterday, he preached at church, and he did a really great job. But then afterwards, he's also the students' pastor, and we had senior Sunday, so he was hosting a student's lunch. So he had to get this all set up, preach 2 sermons, and then host the student lunch. And then after that, we went. It was a lot. And then we went to go watch a baseball game at the high school because one of his seniors was playing baseball, and this is one of the last games.
Right.
But it was really hot and nice, and so I just laid out in the sun, and we watched this game. And then we had a little Cinco de Mayo party to go to with some people from our church. I know. And it was crazy. And I was a little bit nervous to go, but then I texted my friend beforehand, and I was like, hey, are you going?
Right.
And she was like, yes. She goes, yes, are you? And then we both were like, oh, we're so excited. She was like, I was dreading it all week, and then you texted me, and it was good. She's like, so glad you're here. And I was like, me too, girl. She's the one giving me the books.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good times. I feel like that's really all I've been doing. Today we practiced graduation for our 5th graders. Or their little promotion ceremony. It's like a big deal. We have a big ceremony. And so we started practicing that today. And oh my goodness, trying to get 5th graders to just walk next to each other, to their seats, in a specific order, is like pulling teeth. We would be like, okay, walk next to each other, and then one girl would skip away. And we're like, oh. No, walk next to each other. You got to stay shoulder to shoulder. And then they would look at you what? And we're like, okay, I don't know how else to say this again, but walk next to each other at the same speed. We would even be 1, 2, 3, go. And then one person would just stand there.
Stop.
And then we'd be like, guys, you don't have to touch, but you need to be shoulder to shoulder and walk at the same speed. And it just wasn't computing in their heads. But hey, I'm hoping it's better next time.
Wow. Kids are so extra.
There is just a lot going on. And then so the kids also think the school year is over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're really done with it. I had 5 kids show up today with no Chromebooks. Another 4 of them weren't charged, and I've only got 1 charger. And I was like, guys, you we're still doing things on the computer. You have to bring your computer. And I really tomorrow they're taking their math placement test for 6th grade. I was like, guys, tomorrow we even sent out an email. Your Chromebooks need to be charged. Okay? They get the school. We've got 3 more weeks. We've got 12 and a half more days.
Yeah.
You need to come with your Chromebook charged because we're not done yet. Okay?
Right.
You're not in kindergarten. I don't know what they're doing, but we got some tests to take on the computer because you're going into 6th grade.
Yeah.
But goodness, they're testing me right now.
I
with that whole little thing. Well. One of my coworkers got this T-shirt that says "Bruh, charge your Chromebook," and I'm not usually into teacher shirts, but that one cracked me up.
I've got some funny math ones that the math people or the math ladies in my school have.
Oh, those are cute. Yes. So lots of busy stuff. But we're also in the point of the year. I had my last observation last week.
Yay.
So now I'm just riding it out. We're keeping the kids busy.
That's really late in the year to have that.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
All right. Are you ready to go to the history?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I texted you. It's just some pictures. There's 4 pictures. And I found this and thought, oh, this is cute. I forgot about it.
Okay.
So that's why I sent it and why I picked it. This would be, I believe it's 2021, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's right after we went on the Lakeland spring break trip down to Florida, where actually it's right after what we talked about last week for our history.
Yes. So first photo that I'm looking at, I'm writing a letter, addressing a letter. You're reading your Bible. And we're in a coffee shop. I know who this letter was too.
Really?
Yeah, this was a letter to my ex-boyfriend while he was at his little army camp.
Oh, yikes. Sorry about that. I did not remember that. I really did think, who would she be writing a letter to? But that never crossed my
that's
mind.
the only person I was writing letters to at the time.
Oh.
So that's, anyways, you're reading your Bible, so that's so great.
You have your Bible sitting right there.
I have my Bible under. I was probably reading it, and I'm also looks like I was doing at the time the Fruit of the Spirit, Beth Moore study with my mentor. Very good study.
Well, we went to we would go to the coffee shop. I was going to say bookstore. We go to the coffee shop, and we would go to like have our quiet time together in the morning, and then go off and do something else in the afternoon and hang out.
Yeah.
I miss it. That was so cute and fun.
It was cute and fun, and it was a cute coffee shop. That coffee that's in front of you looks really delicious.
I know, and
it
I
looks
could
like
just
a
drink
really
it
good
all
one
right now.
Yeah, I got a cute little ring on my finger too. I lost that. I had stolen that from my sister, and I don't know where it's at anymore.
Oh.
Little flowers. But our goal this summer, we had decided, was to visit every park in our hometown.
Which there were like, do you even remember?
Yeah. So
how many were there?
I don't remember how many. There were a lot.
I'm gonna look it up.
But the first one, I'm going to keep talking about these pictures. The next picture, we're at a park called Troon Park. That's a little park that was in my neighborhood, and it was like a little children's spray park type thing.
Which, actually, I have to add, so I have to interrupt you.
Okay.
We both went to play there when we were kids, and there's a
Right.
chance we played there and like didn't know it.
I bet. I was there all the time.
Together.
It was like a block from my house.
Yeah,
And it
my
was like
grandma
a
would take
place-
us there.
Oh, it was a place where my parents would let us go by ourselves because it was so close. So
Yeah.
we, like, if we were bored in the summer, that's where we would go. And it used to be cool. Like, it was a park with like a little river that was running through it, and there was sand, and you could play with all that. And it was really cool. And then they let some college kids redesign the park, and they made it a splash pad with sharp rocks in it.
Oh,
the rocks were gone after about a year, and I can tell you why. When I first saw it, I said, those will be gone soon. And sure enough, they were. That's why you don't let people without children design parks.
Honestly.
Okay,
I can't find my document
Your
of
list
how
of
many
it?
parks there. I think I got rid of it.
We have another picture with a park called Revere Park. I don't remember what Revere Park was like. I think
That's
it was
kind
just
of
a
by your
field.
house.
Is it not just a field?
It really is. It's just like an open space with a bunch of trees. It'd be a great spot to hammock.
Yeah. And then there's another one called Grove Park, which is like a children's park.
It's right by that coffee shop.
Yeah. You could tell I have not been outside much yet.
Well, it was May.
Yeah, that's true. Because I am May and I'm wearing shorts. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. And we did not get far in our goal. Like, we've always created such lofty goals for ourselves. Honestly, props to us. But to be honest, we never got very far.
Well, and I think we were a little bogged down with this one because there were some random parks we would try to find because in our town there had been a lot of like neighborhood parks that had been made, but then the list didn't get updated when the parks would go away. So there was one sidewalk that like led into someone's backyard, and there was still a sign for the park, and the sidewalk led into their backyard and then just stopped. So we walk in these people's backyard, and we're like, we're looking for this park. And I think sometimes we didn't even see people, but we were trying to find this park. We couldn't find it. And then we went to go find this other entrance because someone said, oh, the entrance is actually down the road if you find a little dirt path. And we walk on this dirt path into the middle of the woods and find nothing. And it just like, it almost looks like a dirt bike path back there because it's really hilly. You can tell the kids are riding their bike, but then it just gets scary as we go because we never ever find this park, but we just find more and more
definitely
woods.
Did drugs back there.
Yes, and we were just back there like la-di-da, like we're gonna find this park, and we never found it, and it was actually kind of terrifying.
It was creepy, to be honest.
And I think that was kind of our like, oh.
After that, we gave up.
Yeah, we did. That was our last one. we were going really strong before that.
Okay, I think we have to jump into our history because we've taken so much time, which I've loved sharing, but not our history. Oh my gosh, our topic.
Yeah, our topic, girl. We're already talking about
We have to go to the topic because I feel like it's really fun and exciting this week.
Yes.
And I want to talk about it, and I want time for this.
Okay.
So, to all of our listeners, we had 120 volunteers for this. or should I say voluntold.
Oh, yeah. It was not an option.
No, it wasn't. We went to our students and we said, we have some questions for you. And I made them answer them as warm-up questions.
Yes, I did as well.
And
but I spread mine out over a few days.
yeah, I made all of mine answer them in the same day. So I think I would have gotten some better answers if I spread it.
Mm.
But we're going to go through one question at a time, share some different fun things we thought our students shared. We got some of what we thought were the best ones. And our first question, we had 6. We might only get through a couple of them, but we'll see.
Right.
Our first one is, what is something your teacher says too much?
Can I start this one?
Please do.
I got a lot of stop talkings.
Me too.
And
I got a lot of specific names thrown in there too.
Oh, I didn't get a lot of specific names. I got a lot of stop talkings. I read these answers back to my kids, and I said, "Hey, I also got a few be quites." And I go,
Same.
I don't
Me
think
too.
I was like,
Me
I don't think I've ever say be quiet. And they're like, they started laughing. It was funny. Ridiculous. I got ridiculous. Someone wrote, "This is ridiculous," and I was like, "Do I say that a lot?" And they're like, "Yeah." They're like, when you get frustrated that we won't stop talking, or you go, "This is ridiculous," or "That's ridiculous."
I got a lot of shh. And you want to know what else I got a lot of?
What?
I got a lot of, what was I saying? Or like, what was I saying again?
Oh.
Because I just lose my train of thought all the time.
I got one that was definitely a lie. This kid doesn't listen to me at all. They said, "Y'all are so loud, OMG." Because one,
I wish you said that.
I wish I said that too. I don't say y'all. Like, I've just noticed, like, starting to say y'all more, but also I don't think I've ever in my life said OMG, like, naturally.
Yeah. Well, the thing I thought was funny from mine is that you can tell the kids that are in all of my hours except for my 6th hour. So my other hours are like, we have homework or like random things, you know? And one of them was like, one of them said, "I stayed up too late reading my book today or last night."
That's cute.
Right? Like random things. And then one of them also said, "She brings up the creepy Culver story." By the way, I told that one time. I told them that story one time, okay? One time.
What?
Once. And they were like, "You bring it up all the time." I was like, "No, I told it one time." But then when I get to my 6th hour, it's a bunch of shh, quiet down, be quiet, stop. And then like a bunch of this one kid's specific name, like a couple kids. And then there's one that's just, "Did I ask?"
That's funny.
And I don't say that very often. Like, I save that for specific situations, you know?
Right.
When I'm, like, really getting upset. And then another girl wrote that you can be mean, but you do not want to have to yell or get mad. Because when I'm, like, when I feel the anger rising inside of me, I go, "Listen, I love you all." I go, "I don't want to have to be really mean. And I can be. So I think you should probably start listening to me."
I got a few knock it off, so I think that's what I say when I'm frustrated with them. Okay, knock it off.
I can see you saying that. I really can.
I just go, well, sometimes I like look at them and I straight face, I just go, "Knock it off." And I was like, I do say that a lot because it's like, why are you doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
And it's like really quick, knock it off. Okay, stop. And they usually do. Yeah, I can tell some of these kids don't listen to me because they're not words I would say, but then some of them, the one girl like directly quoted me saying something that I said like once to them, and I was like, wow. But I think the funniest one I got is, okay, so I say the phrase "golly" a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I moved here, I think it was because, to be honest, I would love to say I think it's from being in the South, but I really think it's because my boyfriend and I like this one comedian, and he goes "golly."
Oh.
And I think that's why it happened. And so we both say it all the time. Anyways, my kids spelled it out because I'll be like, "Golly." And one kid spelled it GYAA space LEEEEEE. Good one.
Interesting.
One kid spelled it goalie. But like did the uppercase and lowercase letters like
Right.
golly. And I was like, golly, that's good too. And then one of my favorites, they spelled it GAAAAAHLEY. And I was like, oh, that's really
That's not
good.
bad. I don't like
That's
the
pretty good.
LEY, but I like the beginning.
But I was like, I can see myself saying this. Golly. So I was like, that's pretty good that they're sounding that out. And then one kid said, "Stop bolting and folding," and I have no idea what
That's
that
funny.
means. I
Well,
read that to
I had
them,
some
and I
random
said,
ones.
"Do I say that?" And they go, "No."
I had one kid put, "I'm just Ken," and I go, "I've never said I'm just Ken." But you know what I did do?
What?
We were all Barbie in my school for Halloween.
Oh,
And so on that day, I played the song by Lizzo that is like Pink or whatever. You know,
yeah.
When I Wake Up, that song.
Mhm.
And I learned the words to that song that day just so I could sing it to them every hour they walked in and annoy the crap out of them. I mean, I
That's
sang
cute.
it like at least 20 times that day, and they hated me for it. And I thought it was the funniest thing I had ever done.
That is really hilarious, actually.
And I also played the I'm Just Ken song a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they think those are my favorite songs.
Oh, because it was Barbie Day.
Right.
You'd think they'd put two and two together that you're just trying to be silly.
No, they think they're for real my favorite songs.
Well, that's kind of funny, actually.
Can I take us to our next question?
Absolutely. What is our next one?
What do you think your teachers need to know about kids your age?
I gotta pull that up for me.
For me, the first one I mean, I got a lot, but in one of my first hours, I had someone that wrote that they used their name, but that I am a Sigma Alpha male with Skibbity, Ohio, level 10 Gyat Riz. And I go, what? I think you just muted yourself because I can't hear you.
Can I tell you that I was like, my kids knew that your kids were getting asked these questions, and I read that one to my class, and everybody died. And then they were going through and explaining all of those words to me, and that's when my vice principal walked in for my observation.
Stop it. Stop.
I had just asked them, I was like, so why do people say Ohio? And they were explaining it to me, and in she walks, and I go, oh, they're just explaining some of their slang to me. And she was like, oh, I'd like to hear this.
That is actually hilarious.
But it was informational.
Yeah, it really was. I felt like I learned a lot from these questions. That one I thought was honestly one of the funniest ones.
That answer, my kid said TikTok group chats for this.
Oh.
I said, oh.
I had kids give me a mixed answers, right? Some that were very serious
Mm-hmm.
and some that were just silly. So like that level 10 Skibbity Ohio Riz, whatever.
Right.
Right? And then another one is a lot of them were stuff about homework. Like we shouldn't get homework. Or homework is
mine
hard,
did that
or
too.
that we have a life and we like to be active and we're
My
just
kids
talkative.
said that too.
And then I had this one person write things about how they understand directions the first time and remember everything they need to do. So it's just annoying when we're working on something and you repeat directions. Like, that's because you're a good student and you do everything you need to right away.
Right. And I'm
But
sorry
then-
it's annoying for you, but nobody else does.
But then she writes, also, when you're walking around, we can always tell when you're near us. And it's really creepy when you guys just stare at our work for 3 minutes straight.
Oh, okay. Kids are like so in their head, they're so not self-aware about things where it's like there's no way I stared at your paper for 3 minutes.
No, but definitely long enough that she felt very self-conscious.
Oh, yeah. Which is like, oh, definitely didn't mean it in that way.
No, I meant to just like check and make sure you're doing it right. Like I'm trying to help you.
She doesn't want it.
Another girl wrote, if we feel like it, then in all caps, we can take up the whole hallway with only 2 people. We sometimes scream in our classes when we feel like it. You should be scared of us.
One of my kids, my first kid, wrote, you should know that our brains are rotted. And I was like, yeah, they probably are, buddy.
Our brains are rotted. I had a girl write that every girl is a pick-me.
Oh. I had a lot of kids talking about that they love candy.
Oh, I had none of that.
I was like, you think I don't know that? Because you literally ask me for candy every second of the day. You're like,
Yeah.
if I do this, will I get candy? Well, and I was like, I'm not even a teacher that gives out candy a lot. So I don't know why we're asking me these questions.
I had a kid go, I think that older teachers, 50 to 80.
50 to 80.
And I just wanted to be like, what teachers do you know that are over the age of like 60? 50 to 80. And I seriously was like, what?
What is the rest of the thing say?
The older teachers 50 to 80 should understand that times aren't like they used to be and try to understand how we feel.
Hey, teachers 50 to 80, if you'd pay them some more, they wouldn't be there anymore. Trying to understand how we feel. That is funny.
I know.
50 to 80. I had one kid just go, he is 11. Who is 11?
I like this one. It's pretty self-aware. He goes, we are weird, prideful, dumb.
Oh, that's pretty good. I did have a few kids that were self-aware, and they're like, yeah, we talk a lot, and we do inappropriate things. And
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
did
At
too.
least you're self-aware. I had that in 5th grade were more mature than younger ones and treated nicely. So my kids are really high and mighty, thinking they're really
right.
One kid wrote, we have different behaviors. And I go, yes, that's true. But probably because a lot of them get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let them talk some. They're not robots. Let them be free some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, maybe if your grammar was better, I would. But it looks like we need to still be in school here.
I know, for real. For real.
Yeah. But, yeah. Mine weren't, like, a lot of mine weren't super funny.
No, mine weren't
we
either.
like video games.
Yeah,
I'm just
same.
really disappointed in the way that some of them spelled, to be honest. Because I don't see a lot of their writing.
Neither do I.
And I go, I can't imagine, like, being the one to grade this.
I have a hard time reading some of their writing, and I go, oh my gosh, you're 7th graders.
When I say that to them, I said, guys, you got to be really careful with numbers. I say, because especially in middle school, like, no one's going to pull you up and be like, is this a 9 or is this an 8?
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, because those shouldn't even look like each other.
Nope. Nope. Are you ready for another question, or do you have any more for that one?
No, that's about it I have for that one. What's our next one?
If you could make a funny rule that every teacher had to follow, what would it be?
Oh, that is a good one.
I'll start while you're pulling up your answers.
I've got them here, but go ahead.
Teachers become students for a day every school year, every 2 months.
Okay, say that again.
So the teachers are the students for a day every 2 months during the school year.
Oh, okay.
I had a lot of those. Like, just let the kids teach whatever they want every once in a while.
Okay. I had a lot that were directed specifically at me.
Oh, okay.
Like every time you say golly, you have to eat a piece of broccoli.
Oh, that's interesting. I think that once middle school, and I can't remember the psychological, like, things behind this, but I'm pretty sure middle schoolers are better abstract thinkers, while as 5th grade, they're still very specific thinkers.
Oh, yeah, these kids are. But I read these back to them, and I said, what's up with the broccoli? I said, I do like broccoli.
They all talk to each other about it?
No, there was one kid that said the broccoli, but then I have other ones pointing at me, like every time you drink a sip of coffee, you have to give an extra point on a test.
Oh, okay.
There was another one where it was like every time you get a sip of coffee, you have to give each of us a piece of candy.
Oh. Yeah, I had some about candy too, actually.
I got one too. Okay. Sorry, go.
Okay, I had that they need to make us laugh, and if they don't, they have to do something crazy.
Oh. I had one say, for every cup you have to act like a monkey.
Oh.
And I said, for how long? Because they make fun of me because I, at any given time, could have 4 or 5 cups on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, like, what do you mean? Like, you have to have a length of time for this.
Yeah.
And they said 30 seconds. I said, that's not that bad.
Right. I had one that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
It says, one rule that every teacher had to follow would be smack your classmates on the head whenever they say the word, well, actually. And I go, I would have to smack them, or you would have to smack each other?
Right.
Or when I'm saying actually, or when you say actually, like, this just doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense at all.
But I thought it was hilarious.
That's a good. I had a really funny one where a kid said Rickroll students during independent work time.
What?
Do you know what Rickrolling is?
No.
It's like when you go to do a joke or something, and then the punchline is you just play that song. Oh, what is the song? Rickroll. Golly, I'm gonna Google it quickly.
Okay.
When you Rickroll someone, Rick Astley's song "Never Gonna Give You Up" starts playing.
Yeah.
So they're like, Rickroll students in the middle of independent work time, and I was like, that would actually be hilarious. I had another kid say they all get a $300 raise, no tax.
Why is the no tax part the best?
It's in parentheses, no tax.
No tax.
Well, it's because we're doing this project in school where they have to budget this money, but then when they spend it, they have to add it and calculate tax. So I go, I know this is on their mind. And they're like, man, tax is a lot. So $300 raise. And then I was like, $300?
I had
That's like an extra $2 per paycheck.
I had a lot of random like talk certain ways, like speak like Yoda. That I should, if a kid gets a question right, I have to say a dad joke.
That's
that
a
I
funny
should
one.
only talk in Gen Z, or that on Fridays I have to communicate by only barking.
That one's funny. I have put your shirt on backwards every Friday.
Oh, I had talk in a robot voice for every second Wednesday of the month. I thought this was interesting, but would not be allowed at all. It says she develops the, in quotations, attitude of the last kid she calls on. I feel like this would make for fun burns and laughs to misbehaving kids. And, like, to be honest, would it be a little bit funny? Yeah, but would I probably be putting down so many kids? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That would be really funny, though, actually.
Yeah. I had a lot of kids say that I had to dance.
Oh, I had one where it said, do the hokey pokey 10 times in a row every morning.
Oh, mine was gritty, but that's because I did the gritty in front of the whole school.
Oh, and they'll
at the
never
beginning of the
forget
year.
that?
Yeah. Have a meme to go with every lesson.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Bring your pet to school every day.
That's cute. Kids or you?
Me.
Oh, fun.
I don't have a pet.
That's a bummer.
It says, teachers should have the students take attendance, and they get graded by the students. The teachers can be marked tardy, and their parents have to excuse them if they're gone. I go, I want to know the logistics of that, please.
Have you ever seen the prank that was going around on April Fool's Day where teachers in their, like, little elementary classrooms would have, the announcements would say, hey, your mom's here to pick you up, to the teacher. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Man.
Just
Just cracked me up.
Yeah, some of them were pretty good, actually. The 50 to 80 got me.
I know. That got me too.
I'm still thinking about it.
I didn't really actually think about that until I just read it to you. And then I was like, wait, that's really old. The
What's our next question?
Kind of goes with all of the slang we were talking about.
Okay.
It says, what's a slang word you think I don't know, and what does it mean? I really had to give my kids a hard time for this because 7th graders like to read half a question and not understand the other half. And they don't like to write in full sentences. And most of mine didn't. And Actually, I was going to get someone in trouble for writing something really inappropriate that I'm now looking at, but I forgot about that. So I think it's over now.
Yeah.
Anyways, but they didn't explain what they meant a lot of the time. So I've got a lot
Okay.
of slang, but I don't necessarily have a lot of explanation.
I didn't get a lot of explanation either, although the ones I didn't get explanation on, I already knew what they meant.
I like sort of know, but what they actually mean, because my kids were Googling definitions and plugging their Google definitions in, is, different from the way the kids use them. Sometimes.
Oh. Yeah, I had one where, because I read these to my boyfriend, and I said, hey, is this what they actually mean?
Right.
And there was one where he was like, that's not used correctly.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah.
I had a lot of kids be, I don't know any slang words. And then sometimes they would give me examples. So this one person was like, I don't know slang words. I still don't know what Riz or skibbity means.
Oh, the kids just taught me what skibbity means.
Oh, trust me. I know, I know what skibbity toilet is. And I know skibbity is, the actual definition is that it's something evil.
Oh, my kids just say it's a filler word, like a filler nonsense word. Because now they just say it like, they'll be like, skibbity, yeah. Or they'll be like, skibbity. They'll just like say it. It's
Mine
like skibbity,
too,
Ohio.
kind of. But sometimes it's thrown into sentences like it's cool. And sometimes it's thrown into sentences like it's bad.
Oh, like they're not consistent in the way that they use it.
No, never.
Can I read you my favorite one?
Yes, please do.
Okay. This one, I was like, I actually haven't heard this. And I almost cried in my classroom when I thought about this. The way they wrote it is so good. They gave me 2 sentences. They said the word I'm choosing is Giga Chad.
What? What? Did you say Giga Chad?
Giga Chad. Like a gigabyte, Chad. But a Giga Chad. Yeah.
Okay.
And they said a Giga Chad is somebody who is incredibly physically strong. And I was like, wait a second. So is a Giga Chad basically like the ultimate Chad? And they're like, yeah. And I said, I will start using that one.
I love that, actually.
That's a Giga. And then I explained to them in college how my friends and I would be like, oh, there's Chad walking down the street.
Right.
If you saw and then if there's 2 of them, you're like, Brad and Chad. And I was like, but Giga Chad has just brought this to the next level. I said, that is my favorite one you've taught me.
Brad Chad and Giga Chad.
I was like, because I didn't know that one at all.
One of my favorites was this girl, and everyone in Michigan knows this, so I really don't know why this was her slang. But her slang was youper.
Oh.
And then in parentheses, it means someone from the Upper Peninsula.
That's not even like something new.
No, and it's not really slang for them, at least. But whatever. Maybe she uses it more often than I would assume. Another one wrote Giat and said, I'm not explaining. Sorry.
Oh, one of my kids wrote it and said it means a big gluteus maximus.
Oh, mine said it means a big butt. Another one.
I got a lot of giats. Most people did not explain it, and almost no one spelled it correctly.
Oh, yeah. A lot of mine did spell it correctly. I liked this girl. She wrote Sigma. I don't even know. Ask one of the boys with the ice cream hair. I'm not really sure what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
But I thought it was funny.
Did anyone actually explain to you what Sigma is?
Well, this one boy said, I'm a Sigma and you're a Beta. In parentheses, I'm better than you.
Yeah, they're basically like, it's just the Greek alphabet. Like, Sigma is like a good.
But Alpha is the best.
Yes, but they've been just saying Sigma, so I feel like it's like, what? Like, why are we saying Sigma? Why are we not saying Alpha?
My kids say Alpha. My kids wanted me to stand in front of the class and say, I am the Alpha. I never did because I was too embarrassed.
Yeah.
Well, it moved from Alpha to Sigma real quick.
My kids had Preppy.
One of mine did too.
And they explained it to me because the person that had just wrote Preppy, but then they explained it to me. They're like, Preppy is like, oh, Stanley Cup, like, kind of girl. And then they point to one girl in my class, and she just nods. She goes, yeah. And then they go, there's a Preppy skip. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, you hold your hands like this, kind of like if you were like looking at your nails, but you put them both out, and then you skip. And I said, they're like, will you do it? And I was like, well, wait, am I Preppy? And they're like, yeah, you have a Stanley. And I go, okay, yeah, I'm probably prep. And so I was like, okay, I will do the prep skip if you guys do not talk for the rest of class. Like, you work independently and you don't talk. I said, these are my rules. These are my grounds. I will only do this if I receive something in return.
Right.
And they agreed to it. And so I get up there and I do the little prep skip. And they, like, lost their marbles. They're like,
That
oh
is
my
hilarious.
gosh. Oh my, they like couldn't compute in their brain. And I go, do you guys realize we're both Gen Z? I said, we're in the same generation. I know the memes that you know, and I probably know them before you guys. Once you're in high school, you'll know them before me. But right now, you're a little delayed.
Okay, are you ready for my favorite?
Yes.
It's a whole paragraph.
Oh.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Gucci, bucket hat, Riz, Sigma, mewing, skibbity, no cap, this bussin', let 'em cook, skibbity, Riz, among us, John Pork, Gautier, or I don't know how you say that. Anyways, then it continues. Riz equals, the meaning of Riz is romantic appeal or charm. Sigma equals, a popular, successful, but highly independent and self-reliant man.
Okay.
No cap equals no lie.
Oh.
Bussin' equals extremely good. Let him cook equals to freely let a person do something they're good at. Skibbity equals a scary toilet that is mean. Among Us equals a video game. John Pork equals a failed lab experiment of a pig and a human, and it's evil. I'm guessing it's Gautier, and it's a cologne, or Gautier, but Gautier sounds wrong.
It sounds like Gautier.
Yeah, thank you. I'm quite ignorant in all this. Anyways, I like that. I had a lot of mewing. Mewing is a big deal.
We banned mewing at our school.
Whoa.
Yeah, because some kids, like, I don't think our kids necessarily know, but a lot of kids are saying it as, like, an insult to teachers.
Oh, mine never were. Mine just
a lot of them are
for
like,
fun.
They're like, oh, you're just snatching your throat or something.
Yeah.
But then some kids were doing it inappropriately. But
Oh, go ahead.
I had one. I had not heard this one, but then when I read it to my boyfriend, he said they're using it incorrectly, and I think it has something to do with video games.
Oh, what is it?
Sweat.
Oh,
and
no,
then
I
he
have
goes,
no
a
idea.
sweat is a person that plays a game and is very good at the game. Like, for example, that person is a sweat at Fortnite.
Oh, wait,
He's
actually, I think that is in
90s.
here, and I was confused.
Yeah, and I read that to Jacob, my boyfriend, and he goes that he's using it incorrectly. But yes, that is a word. So he's cranking 90s. And then he says, P.S. that means building a certain way that is good.
Interesting.
They gave me a lot of Fortnite language.
A lot of mine too. A lot of mine gave me, actually, why did I say a lot? It's one. One of them told me pineapple, and it's a code name. And when I asked the girl what that meant, they said code names for people you like, and you can use any food.
Oh, that just sounds like when we were kids and you'd give someone the wrong name when you wanted to talk about
Agreed.
them.
And then I had someone talk about the "What's up, brother?"
Oh, special team, special players,
special players. And then, yeah, I know. And then they say, "Please never say this. It's some kid on the internet that is more low educated saying these things." And I'm like, do you want to give me proof that this guy is more low educated? He's probably more educated than you are.
Well, he's probably making good money right now.
I know, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids say that all the time. That one doesn't bother me as much, though.
No, I think that
because it feels like they do that and it's done.
My kids don't really say them that often. Anyways, I thought this was really fun. I liked our questions.
I did too.
We had a couple more. It just feels like we'd be staying here much too long if we went through them. But if you really enjoyed this episode and want to hear more of what 7th and 5th graders think, then
or you have anything you want us to ask them?
Actually, yeah. We only have a few more weeks of the school year. So if you really want a question answered by them, you'd have to let us know pretty quickly. Here.
But they enjoyed this. They want more of these questions.
I think mine would if I did one a day and they got to spend more time on it.
Right.
Yeah. But I thought it was fun. It gave me quite the laugh, especially those 50 to 80-year-old teachers out there.
Oh, yeah. Get it together.
Yeah. I like
my
this.
kids, yeah, and they loved hearing their own thoughts about stuff because I would read them to the class what people said, and we'd all
wish I had
discuss
time for that.
So it was cute. But yeah, maybe don't do it right before you're supposed to get your last observation.
I bet, though, that your vice principal thought that was quite fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was the beginning of the day. It was our morning meeting, so it was fine. It was an appropriate time to do so. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all we have for you today.
I hope you enjoyed and maybe had a little giggle yourself at some point. And we will see you again next week.
Hey, we're glad you made it to the end of our episode. If you'd like to check us out on social media, you can follow us at Instagram or our YouTube with the same name at WH0_ARE_THEY_. Or you can check us out on TikTok at Who Are They Pod.
Thanks again for listening, and make sure to join us again next Tuesday.
Bye.